Thousands of students come to TCU each year. We all come from hundreds of different places as far away as South Korea and as close to home as right here in Fort Worth. Together we make up the diverse population that we now call home. For some people, this transition is very easy, yet for others it is very difficult. We sometimes struggle to find our place, who we are, and with whom we feel most at home with. The fear of being accepted is constantly looming. But what if there was a way to help us ease our transition? As college students, we might not comprehend that we can relate to children's fiction books to gain an understanding of our new lives. But how can we honestly relate ourselves here at TCU to someone who is 12 years old, going to a wizarding school, and has the ability to fly on a broomstick? In Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban, Harry fears fear itself. He constantly fears the Dementors and Sirius Black. However, Harry does not yet understand that good can potentially come from building a relationship with Sirius. And as first-year students, we do not always know what to expect when we first step foot onto campus. Everyone fears the unknown, and Harry must act like a responsible citizen just like TCU students do every day. In the end of the novel, Lupin congratulates him on his triumph and says that you saved a lot of lives last night, Harry. If I'm proud of anything, it's how much you've learned. As TCU students, we face many tough decisions every day, but learning from them is what ultimately matters, as Lupin explained. We as TCU students can also relate to Sophie in the BFG. In this novel, Sophie emerges as a courageous little girl in a time of crisis. The BFG helps to pull out Sophie's hidden qualities, and he pushes her like the parent she never had. Sophie and the BFG are faced with the struggle of whether or not to expose himself and the other giants to save their global community, or to remain hidden and continue to be bullied and let innocent people die every day. The BFG eventually uses his own logic of two rights is not making a left, and decides to help Sophie protect the innocent children. TCU students must also face choices similar to these, for instance, whether or not to volunteer during leaps to give back to their global community, or even a more extreme situation similar to preventing your friends from drunk driving. Finally, we can relate to Peter Pan and Wendy. Just as we are learning to become ethical leaders, so is Wendy. In Peter Pan and Wendy, learning to grow up and move on to live out one's dream is a key theme. Wendy must become an ethical leader when she first chooses to go to Neverland with Peter and her brothers. When she gets there, she has to fulfill the role of a mother and must make decisions for the lost boys every day. As she matures, she finds herself in the middle of an internal conflict of whether or not to stay young with Peter or move on and become a real mother. She makes her choice and returns home. At the end of the novel, Peter finds Wendy as a grown woman smiling at a tragic boy. She then realizes that we are only as small as stars and we all have to grow up and make tough, wise choices. Just as the characters in these novels must trust others and find themselves, we as first-year TCU students must do the same. We are constantly faced with choices of whom to associate ourselves with, and if we want to remain mediocre or strive to be better than our best. Coming to TCU, we are given every opportunity to be all that we can, and it is up to us to take advantage of those opportunities. If we can immerse ourselves in a child's life, these complex problems can be seen in a new, simplifying light that can help aid us in decision-making.